Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a gerbera from fondant. I'm going to be making a watering can cake soon, so I'm going to make a variety of flowers to go inside the watering can. So I thought I'd start off and do a gerbera. It's still drying, but you can see there, I'll show you a close-up at the end. I'm just going to let that dry. It's quite simple. You will need cutters, so these plunger cutters are what I use, and but otherwise it's a 5-minute flower, so that's great. Enjoy. Okay, so I've dyed my white fondant with a tiny bit of this avocado colour. I sort of googled some images, and the pink gerberas seem to have, oh look, it depends which picture you look at, but anyway, a few of them had sort of a palish green centre, so I'm going to go with that. I'm using this mould which I got from First Impressions, which I really recommend this brand. They're really good with moulds. But if you don't want to go, this one's quite cool as well. It's got so many different sizes of centres for flowers, so it's pretty handy. But if you don't want to go and buy it, you could use anything with a bit of texture. So like a meat tenderizer with all the little grooves in it, or you could use like a microplane or the side of a grater. So anyway, I'm going to use this big one here. Basically just put it in. I always press it down with something else, and whoops, there you go. See how that looks? It's really nice. So easy. Okay, so next thing is I've got my pink. Now for this pink I used electric pink. I don't know why I used that. I just picked it out, thought it would be good, and I've added Tylo powder to this as well. So now I've got, I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I've got these two daisy cutters here. So I think I might have to use the bigger one. So these I think I just bought on eBay. They're really good, these plunger cutters. Make sure you move it around a little bit just to make sure you get a really nice clean cut. Turn it over this way. Just get all the excess off. There we go. So there we go, that's that. Now I'm going to flip it over. Am I going to flip it over? No, I won't flip it over. I'll leave it that way, proper way up, and then I'm just going to stick my centre. Sorry, my water. Bit of water in the middle, and I'm just going to stick my centre onto it like that. Got to be careful, you don't want to sort of squash out the, there we go, you don't want to squash out the nice texture that you've just created. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a tiny bit of water around the sides here. And then I'm just going to very gently lift up the sides. Okay, let's see if I can do this with one hand. Okay, so that is the centre done. Once I'll just play around with that, and then I will just let that dry. See how nice that texture is on top of it? Okay, so I've just rolled out my pink quite thinly, and I'm going to use this large gerbera cutter. So I bought a set of these 3 different sizes. These plunger sets are really awesome. They're a good buy. Flowers You find you make flowers for everything, and if you can't, you know, think of a way to decorate a cake, just chuck a flower on top. It's good. Okay. So press down. I'm going to save that for my next one. So clear it away. Move it around a little bit. Now there's a bit of texture on this, so I'll sort of plunge it down, but you just want to make sure, same sort of thing, that you just tidy it up by, it just gives it a nice neat finish on the end doing this. You need the rolling pin. Both making flowers today. Okay. There we go. So that comes out nice and clean. I'm just going to do another one here. Okay, so I've got my two. You need to be really careful playing with these because all the different petals, see how it's got a bit of texture in it? Right, so what we are going to do now is I've got a foam block. Just bought this from Spotlight, which is a craft shop here in Australia. And I'm going to get a balling tool. Bone tool. So like that. And I'm basically just going to flatten out the end of these petals. Sort of will curl it up a little bit at the end. So you're just sort of moving it down. So I'm going to do that for both. Okay, so that's what it looks like once you've finished. That really didn't take long at all. Now I'm going to stick the two together. So I'm just going to dab a bit of water in the centre and grab the second one. Now you want to put it so that the second one is sort of in the middle of the first one, if that makes sense. See here? You don't put it exactly on. Okay, so with the second one, this one I've cut out a bit bigger. It's the next size up cutter. So I've used these two cutters, similar, but just a bit bigger. And then I'm just going to, just as I did with the first one, wet it, stick it on, and then likewise as well, try and get it so that it goes, that each new petal goes in between the other two petals. So I'm just going to stick that up. Okay, last step is to simply wet the centre and gently place that in the middle. You might need to have a little fiddle. Once it's in position, you might just want to have a play around with the petals. Awesome. That's that. Now, if you're going to stick this onto a cake, you might want to just lift it up before you let it dry, which is what I do with a lot of mine, is I just hold it and then underneath here, just make a hole so that you can poke it into the cake when it's done. Now, I've got for my stuff. I've got one of these. I'm just going to let this sort of sit in here. Oh, maybe not. I might let it dry. I might let it dry flat actually and let it just dry like that. If you want, you can let it dry with all the bits of stuff in it, but I'm not going to bother. Awesome. Here's just an up close of what the Gerbera looks like. Hope you enjoy the tutorial.